But you referenced Lapeer essentially borders Oxford,
Okay.
and
On the north
side, and then you got Rochester. 20 minutes. I don't know.
Okay, I won't lock you into a time. But they came, and they came slightly south of, still in Oakland County, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You noted specifically that there was an Auburn Hills Police Department across the street from the extended stay.
Yes.
Now, you know that Jennifer and James Crumbley checked out of the extended stay on December 3rd of 2021,
Yes.
which was that Friday.
Yes.
You don't know what time they left the hotel, correct?
If the checkout's on the, but do I know? No.
You know what time checkout is,
Yes.
based on the receipt and the documents, correct?
Yes.
But you don't know what time they left, whether if it was at checkout or before. You have no idea.
That's right.
At some point on Exhibit 368 is the T-Mobile receipts from the T-Mobile in Owasso.
Okay.
Those are dated December 2nd of 2021,
Okay.
if you recall.
Yes, I do.
And there was some conversation about the distance that Owasso is from Auburn Hills, because on December 2nd of 2021, James and Jennifer Crumbley had been staying at the extended stay in Auburn Hills.
Yes, and I believe they went to Owasso to get their phones.
Right. They drove to Owasso to get their phones and then went back to the extended stay, from what you understand.
Yes.
So they didn't stay in Owasso, correct? Overnight, to your knowledge.
No.
Now, you are aware that after the Oxford High School shooting, there were a variety of reactions and emotions to what occurred at Oxford High School.
Yes.
There was terror.
From whom?
Anyone at the school.
More than likely.
There was anger.
Are you
I'm
just
speaking
talking
in general. In general.
I would guess after an incident like that, every emotion imaginable could be
Right.
put out there.
You're aware that once the identity of the shooter at Oxford High School was made public, you were also made aware during your investigation that a lot of that anger, or some of that anger, was directed toward the parents of the shooter, James and Jennifer Crumbley.
I can't say specifically, no.
Exhibits 371 and 372 were the videos from 1111 Bellevue in Detroit. You noted that there was a difference of 22 minutes on the timestamp on the video from the actual time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So the video was 22 minutes ahead of what the actual clock time was, if you recall.
I think that's right.
Okay. The video, I believe it's 371, shows that James and Jennifer arrived at approximately 10:59 a.m. at 1111 Bellevue.
Okay.
And that was prior to the swear-to that you testified was conducted at noon.
That I believe it was around noon, correct?
Okay. And again, I'm not asking you to lock in on the exact time, if it was 12:01 or 12:02 or whatever the time may be, but 10:59 is obviously before around noon.
It is.
And the two videos that you were shown, that Exhibit 372 is after 4 p.m., where it shows that James Crumbley walked out of the building and turned the car around and then went back in the building.
Yes. Was it 417 or something like that? 416?
Correct. So the two clips that you saw, there were actually many, many clips from throughout that day, if you recall, that you've reviewed as part of your investigation.
Yes.
In fact, as part of your investigation, you reviewed those clips and know that one or both of James and or Jennifer Crumbley were in and out of that building on more than one occasion on December 3rd of 2021.
I don't recall.
Do you recall that there was video of James specifically leaving the building to smoke and going back in on more than one time?
I can't say. I don't know.
And we heard, you were in here when Investigator Creer testified,
Yes.
and he talked about finding, I believe he said 14 cigarette butts next to the Kia
Yes.
in the 1111 Bellevue parking lot.
Yes.
So you don't specifically recall whether or not James and Jennifer did leave the building. You don't recall whether they didn't. It's fair to say you just don't recall.
That's right.
You testified that at 4 o'clock, a judge ordered James and his wife to turn themselves in.
Yes.
You don't know whether James had knowledge of that order from the judge.
I mean, it's safe. I mean, there's some evidence in my mind that points to that he's aware.
You did not see anything in your review of the case and of the evidence that you've obtained in this case to suggest that James was not going to turn himself in. And I'm not asking about anything that you've seen that you may or may not be able to talk about, but I'm asking specifically, you haven't seen anything to suggest that they weren't going to turn
She'll
themselves
have
in.
to object to the form of the question. She can't try to pigeonhole a witness if he has more information and then limit the answer in his base of knowledge.
Well, it was kind of a long question too, so, but you're specifically asking him,
Your Honor, I'll rephrase my questions a little bit because there was multiple questions. You asked, and we heard the testimony, you asked retired Sergeant Hendrick to locate James and Jennifer Crumbley on December 2nd of 2021.
That's correct.
That was on the date that there were discussions about potentially charging James and Jennifer Crumbley.
That's correct.
On December 3rd of 2021, they had not been located at that time, earlier in the day.
What time?
Before dark.
No, they weren't located.
They were
To my
located,
knowledge, they weren't located.
right. To your knowledge, they were located later in the day, and we heard the testimony about that information, correct?
Yes.
You testified about a video, I believe you said it was posted on Twitter, of the shooter, a Molotov cocktail or something?
I believe it was a YouTube video.
Okay. You have no information that James was aware of that video?
No.
Now, Exhibit 16 is a photograph of the backpack and contents in the bathroom that we looked at.
Okay.
The photo shows that the journal that was in the backpack was open, and I believe you testified that that was opened by law enforcement.
To be honest, I'm not. So, if I can recap that, the Michigan State Police bomb squad went in there. They arranged the items, to my understanding, and that's how. The first time I saw that, that's how it was.
Okay. So you don't have any specific knowledge about how that was opened or who opened it. You just know that when you saw the contents, that's how they were as they were in the photograph.
Right.
You identified the journal as that of the shooter because his name was in it.
Yes. That's right.
Okay. You indicated that there were references to incidents prior to November 9th of 2021, but you don't specifically know what the dates were that those incidents were written about. Is that fair?
I think I might,
Based on reading the journal?
based on everything I've read.
Okay. So based on everything you have about, all the knowledge you have about the case that you learned after November 30th of 2021, you may have additional information.
Yes.
But looking at the journal, you can't tell from the dates. There aren't dates other than November 9th of 2021, and I think there might be a couple other ones
I see.
referencing the shooting.
You're correct.
Okay.